few people scuba dive. They're missing out on a world that's unreal. So yeah, scuba is something that I like to go where other people don't.
It's a really cool thing. It kind of makes me feel like I'm in space.
It opened up a whole new world to me. It's like being in freshwater, like it's black and white, and you go down there in the ocean, everything's color TV.
It's absolutely wonderful to be not in this wheelchair and down there seeing what I can see. You know, it's pretty tranquil, it's quiet, and of course you get to see nature that I've never had a chance to see before.
Once you go into the waves and you're in the water, it's like a whole different world. It's almost like space. It's better than therapy. It's therapy in its own way. There's no pressure, pain. And I don't know if it's the rush of just the first time that was so exciting, but it was absolutely a life-changing experience.
It came on all of a sudden. I took briefly a shower at 9:30, quarter to 10 at night. At 10 o'clock, I got into bed with a slight twinge between my shoulder blades, sat back up, and both hands were numb from the wrist down. Got dressed, went out to the entrance to the campground because we were vacationing, and by that time I was numb from the waist up. And the ambulance showed up. I got out of the car and walked to the gurney, and it was the last time I walked. That was 3 years ago, and by morning I was paralyzed from the neck down.
Just went around a curve, lost control of my motorcycle, and landed against one of those utility transformers and fractured 4 bones in my neck. So I'm technically C5. And paralysis below my chest.
And the deterioration is just so gradual. The way I describe it's like looking through a shower door, the frosted kind. And as I lose sight, it just gets more and more frosted. And so I have a lot of light perception, but not much real usable vision. So for me, if I know what I'm looking at, I can kind of make out silhouettes, shapes, but if I don't, then it's just kind of a variation of shadow and really depends on contrast.
I broke my neck in 1990, motorcycle accident. C5, 6, and 7 were all broke. But then that gives you a zest for life because you were so close to not. And so I'm trying to do everything I can to make the most of it.
Well, that's the incredible thing is that when they're in the water, they don't feel like there are any obstacles. They don't feel like there are any impediments. They don't feel like there are any disabilities or handicaps. They're just there floating along, and you know, one of the great gifts that God has given us, the underwater beauty of the oceans and the seas. And so that is a healing process.
Somebody doesn't see what they can do. A lot of times they see what they've lost and what they can't do. And I think it's important for someone to come in, you know, with a similar injury and say, you know, I've done this, you know, it'd be no problem if you did it.
Really amazing because this is 10 years. I haven't traveled anywhere. So this is pretty awakening, you know, in that regard.
Once you realize this is possible, you have to reevaluate everything you thought might be impossible. And dive pirates have done that for me.
Before a few months ago, I didn't think I'd ever be out doing something like this or anywhere in a place like this.
8 tramadols and 8 baclophens a day. When I'm in that water, there's no pain. I'd rather be in the water. If I can find a house down there, I would live in it. So, I mean, give these people this feeling of no pain.
I'm off of my butt. It's awesome. I'm just floating. I could just do whatever I want.
I mean, not even realizing somebody's behind me until they like inflate my VCD. Then I'm like, who's behind me? So it's awesome.
You think you're down there. Yeah, I'm down there by myself, but I got a guy holding my tank. I got another guy over here that's making sure everything's right, and I don't even see him. So a lot of times you just kind of think, well, I'm doing this on my own, but you're really not.
I feel a lot more like mobile, I guess, on the water. Like I said, I can just kind of float around and like do like circle, like backflips and stuff. I like it.
And so I had so much more contact through my feet, through my hands. I knew where I was. I had a point of reference with the bottom of the ocean, and just walking around, and could just walk and crawl and jump and spin and kind of do my own thing and still know where I was.
We can't do anything unless we have the volunteers, whether it may be a physical help by a volunteer or by a financial help by a volunteer. So you can't say thank you without enough depth to that, but it comes from the heart, and all of us have that appreciation.
Yeah, I didn't know how I was going to be able to like get out my gratitude, because I mean all of this happens because people donate, and it's just really amazing.
There's no way I could thank everybody that's been behind the scenes and made this possible.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Went on one dive, and my confidence was building, and I swim like a mermaid now.
Ready? Thank you. Thank you for all your help. You're doing this just for me and all of the rest of us that came here to dive.
I just want to thank you all for what you're doing, and I want to tell the world that Dive Pirates is an incredible organization. This foundation is special, and I'm going to help it any way that I can, because it has two of my passions: the love of this country and the love of diving.
Donate your money to Dive Pirates. It's gonna help a community that a lot of people forget.